Guys, and welcome back to another video on the Sean the Sheep Man channel. In this video we're going to do the next installment of Echo's training and take you guys along on how we're progressing with Echo. And we are also going to talk about some of the things that have happened over the last 10 days in a sort of vlog style video. Hope you guys enjoy the video and let's get into it. So first let's have a little recap of where we got to last time. In this game where Echo controls the sheep in the middle of the field and keeps them walking towards me the whole time. He was having little bits of difficulty with sheep splitting off and just running too short sometimes. But we can see now he's doing it with relative ease and pretty much can keep control of the sheep for extended lengths of time without any drama or surprises, keeping them under full control. Come by. And I managed to capture one of the stranger things that have happened to me while training the dog here. The car that comes into frame is actually an American man who happens to see me from the road and shout over to ask if he can take some photographs.
Is it alright if I take a picture, sir? Oh, no, you're fine. Thank you.
Move on to this more fetch type situation. Now the dog is going to start an outrun, go out round the sheep, pick the sheep up and then fetch the sheep back to me, the handler. Hey, come by! Lie down! Lie down! Away! Good boy, lie down! Good boy. Lie down. Hit Lalu, Lalu, Lalu. Hit Lalu. Echo. Hit. Good boy. So this outrun, lift and fetch scenario is much more of a complete herding scenario for the dog to be training with. He has quite a good natural left hand flank or come by, which is clockwise. However, his away flank is not as good. He seems to come in short on the sheep, which causes him to quickly spit along the back of them, and that causes them to bolt forward, which means he's got a lot less control. And here's how we're going to correct this. When the dog goes out and we're unhappy with the width of the run, we're going to stop the dog in that run and pull it back. This is essentially a correction because what the dog wants to do is to continue herding. Keeping the dog on its feet this time, we send it out again and the momentum should push it out wider. I'm just playing this training game and we'll probably come out training less now over the next few weeks, and Echo will get a lot more real work by himself without any other dogs being there, because he's at a stage now where that's going to be beneficial to his training as well. When we take Echo out to these jobs, they're going to be jobs that are going to be suited to his skill level. It will be a good advantage to getting him out to do real work on his own without the aid of any other dogs. Because it's a very different situation. Here in the training field, everything's very relaxed. You know, it doesn't really matter what happens out here. At work there is a different atmosphere because you're trying to get something done, and it's beneficial for the dog to experience that on a level that it can cope with, and that experiencing that will also help out here on the training field, because the dog will get a feel for what real work is. At this point, guys, we're going to leave the training alone. We're going to head home. It's been quite a busy week, so I'm going to go over some of the things that have happened in the last sort of 10 days and give you guys a bit of a picture about how our week's been. But first, before we do that, don't forget, guys, there's merch at flashfomo.com. Go to flashfomo.com/sheepman and it'll bring up our full range of merch, and I'll also put the link down in the description. Cheers, guys. Been quite a lot of things going on this week. One of those things is we've been in and out of the vets with Monty here. So about 10 days ago, Monty's urine had blood in it and he sort of lost control of his bladder. We're in the vets and he got a course of antibiotics. The vets hoped that it was a bladder infection. Antibiotics seemed to help a little bit, but when he finished them, the blood returned and he's still having the odd accident, even though he's got a lot more control over his bladder. Another week's antibiotics, and then in the middle of the week we're going to take in another urine sample, and if it's not an infection it could then be bladder stones. They would have to sedate him and x-ray him to find that out. If it's not that, it could be something more sinister, but hopefully it's just either bladder stones or an infection for now. Fortunately, he is a bit unwell now. He has to sleep on a towel because he keeps having accidents through the night. He can control himself during the day, but he is peeing a lot more than he normally would. And as well as this, some of you guys might know that I have enough kennels for 3 dogs and not 4, and with taking in Archie, we've decided that Archie is going to live outside and Kate's going to live inside full time. In no way does this mean Kate's retiring right now. It's just her living situation is going to be changing, and the reason we decided to keep Kate in the house and not Archie or any of the others is, one, because if any of them are going to get to live inside, it's going to be Kate. She deserves it the most. So Archie living outside will benefit him, especially with these things like fixations to reflections and things. There's less reflections out there, and also he has a bit of separation anxiety, and separation anxiety is something I only really see properly on inside dogs. Dogs that live outside don't seem to be bothered by separation anxiety as much because there's other things to take their attention, whereas when you leave a dog in the house with separation anxiety, it's just left alone there with nothing really for it. So it will help Archie as well. You might wonder why it's not Storm or Echo coming in. Well, Storm and Echo don't really like living inside the house. They're very much outside dogs. Storm and Echo, as you know, like to come in from time to time for a bit of attention, but generally they only like being inside for an hour or so, or not even that, and they're sitting at the back door wanting back out. And that's simply because to a dog that spends most of its time outside, there's not much inside the house for it. The house is a very boring place with more rules, so they don't really appreciate being in the house too long. Kate is much more happy being in the house. She really does act like a pet when she's not at work, and she's not bothered whether she's inside or out, so she was definitely the best match for living inside, and it's just going to stay that way. I'm not going to bother getting a 4th kennel. She's just going to live in the house from now on. But that presents us with another little problem. Obviously Archie and Echo don't get on, so they have to be let out at separate times and from their kennels because they're just not integrating with each other at all. If that wasn't enough, Kate and Storm are starting to come into heat, which means they have to be separate from the males for the next month, or sort of 20 odd days from now as well. Sort of blessing in disguise is there has been a heat wave here for the last 2 weeks. It's to continue on through next week. There's going to be days that are going to be getting to 32 degrees, which might not sound a lot to some of you guys, but for Scotland that's hot. Means the dogs will have to spend more time in their kennels, because even playing with each other and things, it can get quite hot very easily. So we have to limit the amount of time that they are out in the sun as well. And I know it doesn't sound great for them, but their safety is more important than them getting out as much as they should. As well as all that, Stacey managed to break her wedding ring, so we had to go in with the jewelers and get that fixed as well. That's pretty much it. That's been all the changes and everything that's been going on really for the last sort of 10 days or so. So we'll try and keep you updated on how Monty gets on, and you can see Kate's getting on great in the house. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll leave the video here. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. Also check out our merch on flashfomo.com, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Cheerio, guys. See ya. No means that, when I mean this, take out to these jobs, they're going to be jobs that'll be scooted.